The Lighthouse Leaders. How positivity in chaos saves ships and civilizations. The lantern that refuses to die metaphor. The storm never asks permission. It tears sails, floods decks, and convinces every trembling soul that the next wave will be the last. Panic spreads faster than seawater. Despair becomes epidemic. And yet, history's greatest rescues share one defiant constant. Someone refused to blow out the lantern. Someone became the lighthouse. Not because the storm respected them, not because the sea relented, but because in the loudest, darkest hour, they kept the light burning, and that single beam transformed terror into direction, and direction into survival. This is not poetry. This is leadership. Elon Musk defiant while the rockets failed. SpaceX had money for one more launch. 3 failures already lay in smoking pieces on the ocean floor. Investors had fled. Obituaries were written. On the 4th attempt, Falcon 1 rose. It separated. It succeeded. The world remembers the triumph. Few recall the desperation. Musk pouring his fortune into the company, facing bankruptcy and divorce. Yet he rallied his team, insisting on persistence. Failure is an option here, he repeated, but he never let doubt extinguish hope. That same year, Tesla was days from collapse until last-minute funding and a NASA contract for SpaceX intervened. A decade later, during production hell for the Model 3, Tesla burned cash at a blistering rate, weeks from bankruptcy. Musk slept on the factory floor, worked 120-hour weeks, and faced relentless criticism. Yet he tweeted optimism, cracked jokes, and even danced on stage at delivery events. Exhaustion became energy. The light never flickered. Jacinda Ardern, smiling through a massacre and a pandemic. March 15, 2019. 51 people murdered in 2 mosques. A nation shattered. The next day, Jacinda Ardern put on a hijab, walked into grieving crowds, and hugged strangers for hours. No notes, no podium. Just presence. She did not declare resilience. She whispered, "They are us," and cried with them. 1 year later, COVID struck. While other nations argued about masks, she went live from her couch, post-bedtime stories to her toddler, and calmly explained lockdown rules like your friend who happens to be Prime Minister. New Zealand's death rate, among the lowest on Earth. Terror and plague. 2 once-in-a-century storms. She never raised her voice. She simply refused to dim her light, and an entire country found the shore because of it. Viktor Frankl, meaning inside Auschwitz. When stripped of clothes, family, and freedom, most expect bitterness. Viktor Frankl gave the world the opposite. Starving, freezing, surrounded by death in Nazi concentration camps, he rehearsed the book he would one day write. Every beating became research. Every corpse a reminder, they can take everything except my decision to choose my attitude. He walked out of hell in 1945 carrying man's search for meaning in his head. 16 million copies later, it continues to save lives from despair. Even in absolute darkness, he kept the beam on. Ernest Shackleton. Optimism is true moral courage, the endurance crushed by ice. 28 men stranded on an Antarctic floe for 497 days. No radio, no rescue. Shackleton banned the word impossible. He organized football matches on the ice, sang songs, and told every man, every single day, "We are going home." When hope was mathematically absurd, he forced the crew to shave and dress for dinner. Because civilized men do not give in. All 28 came home alive. Historians still puzzle over it. The men did not. Their boss never let the light go out. The science that refuses to be sexy. Harvard's 85-year grant study, the longest study on human happiness, found one overwhelming predictor of resilience: strong, positive relationships. Family, friends, community. They buffer us against adversity, keeping us healthier and more hopeful when storms hit. Neuroscientist Tali Sharot showed that positive expectation literally rewires perception. Pessimists miss opportunities in plain sight. Optimists see them even when faint. Your brain is watching you blow out the lantern and it assumes permanent night. As for me, I chose light in Rwanda's darkest hour, the genocide against the Tutsi, my mother and father killed. 3 brothers killed, 1 sister killed, only 1 brother remained, fighting with the rebels. Days before the genocide ended, a telegram arrived. He had fallen in combat. I was now alone. By every calculation, I should not be here. The storm had swallowed my family, my childhood, my future. And yet, I chose to live, not because the pain was bearable, not because the world offered guarantees, but because even in the ash of loss, I refused to let the lantern die. I chose to carry their story, to speak their names, to believe that survival could become testimony, and testimony could become change. Hope was not logical. It was defiance. It was the stubborn act of keeping the beam steady when everything in me wanted to collapse into night. That choice, to live, to tell, to keep the light burning, is why I write these words today. And maybe, just maybe, they will help change the world for better. Even a little. Your turn to be the lighthouse. Right now, somewhere, a company is bleeding cash. A marriage is cracking. A diagnosis has landed. A dream feels dead. The storm is real. The waves are real. But so is the light. And it only takes one person to keep it burning. You don't need perfect conditions. You need stubborn refusal to let darkness win the narrative. Laugh too loud. Dance too early. Tell the story of the shore before you can see it. Hug strangers who are grieving. Rehearse the victory speech in the concentration camp. Vow persistence while the rockets fail. Because the moment you decide the light stays on, something shifts. Not the storm. It never asked permission. But every other soul in the dark suddenly knows which way is forward. Leaders aren't the ones who stop the storm. They're the ones who refuse to go down with the ship and make damn sure nobody else does either. So keep the beam steady. The night is loud, but your light is louder. And somewhere out there, a terrified ship is looking for exactly you.